Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder it is time to look at the second update 1.91 dev server, and there's been a bunch of ships added to it. So we're gonna, in this video, go over the ships, as this is going to be the first video that you see from the dev server. Once again, remember, the whole dev server is subject to change when the update goes live, but gives us a decent amount of understanding of what's going to come. If you want to see the preliminary notes for update 1.91, there'll be a link in the description, so you can have a look for yourself. I'll probably go over it in a few days, but we'll see how everything goes. It's been quite a busy week, if you haven't noticed around here. So, let's get started as we mean to go on. Here is the first premium ship which is being added to the game in update 1.91. This is the 165-footer, the PC-466 Kami, and you can find it as a rank 1 in the American Fleet tree. So it's actually the highest Biard, rank 1 in the tree. So instead of it being in rank 2, we see it sat at rank 1, and the armaments that it has attached to it are two 3-inch Mark 10 guns and two 20mm Oerlikon Mark 2s. So not a crazy armament, but for 2-3, the guns, the one on the front and one on the back, should do a decent amount of damage to be able to take out whatever is coming. The only problem is around this BR, you normally get a lot of close combat situations. There's a lot more PT boats running around, so therefore having these guns which are slightly slow firing, yes, you'll do a lot of damage with them, but at the same time you'll be in a situation where a lot of the time, unfortunately, you'll probably get torpedoed or you'll just get outgunned because, well, you don't have too much armor on the thing anyway. Only 8mm on the hull, 4mm on the superstructure, not really going to stop anything. And the general speed of this thing is okay, nothing to really write home about, and the crew is only 65, so, you know, the survivability isn't great. So overall, an interesting machine. If we compare it to the other premium, the 58-footer, you get two different roles now, which is kind of nice, but I always think the Thunderbolt is a really good pickup for premiums if you want to pick one up. The next one is the Type 1939 T31 for the Germans. Now, we already have a Type 1939 in the game. It's the T22. So you're probably asking, what is the difference between this one and this one? Well, the main differences are the general armaments. You can see that this one has 4 105s on it, so does the premium version. This has two 37s in dual mounts. The premium one has 4 37s in dual mounts, and then the one in the normal tech tree has 5 20mm and a quad 20, whereas the Type 1939 has two dual sets of Flak-Zwilling 20mm, and then it has the quad 20mm. So those are the main differences, slight armament differences when it comes to the secondaries. I'm sure some people will think it's better on the premium version, others will think it's worse. For me personally, I think it's better because of the fact that you have that extra firepower when it comes to the 37mm. It also has the 4 105s, and as a person who suffered dearly playing the Clemson a lot, anything that is given 4 105s to start with as a 3.7, not even, well, it is a destroyer, but it's kind of a small destroyer. But anything which is given 4 105s as a 3.7 is good in my book. On top of this, just the amount of secondaries this has. Just think about it. It has 8 37s and 4 20mm, and then another 4 20mm in a quad mounting. So what you have here is you have 8 37s and 8 20mm. All of these are designed to pretty much wreak havoc, not just on aircraft, because remember at 3.7 you get down-tiered quite a lot. You know, at 3.7 it's not a uncommon occurrence. So with this machine, you're going to be pretty much battering a lot of smaller ships with it, with not just your primaries, but mainly your secondaries. The problem will be when you get up-tiered, and against certain destroyers, you will not have the firepower to withstand, you know, what they're throwing at you. But overall, I would say this is actually a pretty nice, you know, premium, because you're able to get the guns no matter what side of the, you know, what side you're trying to shoot. You can get all main guns on target. You can get the majority of secondary guns on target as well. I think it's a nice little addition to the game if you want to pick it up. It has 2 smokestacks, so that means that knocking out its engine power will not be as easy to do. It also has access to some torpedoes as well, and of course you can buy them. And also you have some depth charges. You have 2 different types of torpedoes actually. So you've got the G7E Mod T5A, and then you've got these ones as well, which look exactly the same. Am I missing something here? Whoops, it might be just me being... Oh, it's the depth charges as well. So you can either run torpedoes or depth charges or both. So that is the way that actually works in it. Obviously, I don't put any stock into depth charges in game right now. Personally, I think they're kind of useless. So therefore, I would only run the torpedoes. But you do get a decent amount of them. You can see the mountings here, and obviously modeled as well. You have 6 overall, and once again, they can shoot either side. So general firepower, very good on this machine, a nice little premium once again. It's also at rank 3, so it's good at researching everything in the naval tech trees. The next one is not the MiG-17AS, but isn't it beautiful? We'll have a video of that coming out soon. It's the PR-1 1204. Now, we already have the 1204 late in game. It's a 2.7 rank 2 machine, has access to some really interesting armaments. It has the dual set of 25mm on the bat. It has the automatic grenade launchers in the middle, which for me just serve to be, you know, like crazy, crazy fireworks in a way. They never seem to do anything. And of course, the 76mm PT-76 turret on the front. Well, the 1204 has the same turret on the front, so it keeps the 76mm, but it has a dual mounting of 14.5mm KPV machine guns, and that seems to be the main difference between these two vehicles. The fact is that this is 7 tons lighter than the late version, and remember the late version is in the tree. I'll just change that so you can see it. So there you go, premium version, normal version. So the premium version is 7 tons lighter. It does also have access to the same rounds as the standard version. The only difference is the secondary armament on the back, and I would argue that the secondary armament on the premium is actually better than the late version, just because of these KPV machine guns. I've seen them do a lot of work over the years, incredibly powerful, and with this, the 25mm are also incredibly powerful. But at the same time, you have that extra weight of these grenades, which just really don't do anything for you. So they are actually very comparable to each other, and it's nice to see another premium for the Soviets. The next one is the MGB-75. Now, the MGB-75 is going to be a rank 1 machine, bat rating 2.0, and the reason why it's 2.0 is because of the fact that it has the 40mm on the front, the 2-pounder QF Mark II-C, and then of course on the back it has a set of dual Oerlikons and 2 sets of dual Lewis machine guns. So overall, you're getting a pretty nice little battle boat here for 2.0. The 40mm is incredibly powerful at this BR. If you've played any of these ships here, like when it comes to the Dark class at 2.0 with its 40mm on the back, obviously it's a slightly different 40mm, but still very strong. The MGB-61, you know, then you've got other machines which have 20s on them. Then of course you have the Dark class. These are all very good machines, mainly because of its 40. So to add another machine to the mix, which also has a 40, is incredibly good for the British. It obviously is very small. Doesn't really have a lot of armor, only 40mm on the hull and 15mm on the superstructure. Has a lot of engine power though, can go 78 kilometers an hour and is about 50 ton. Isn't it kind of interesting how this huge ship is only 70 ton? It's only 20 tons heavier than this thing, which is made out of basically just wood and guns. It's, I don't know, it's one of those oddities. Secondary weapons, depth charges of course. So yeah, you get some depth charges on it. There's no reason, in my opinion, to use them. The main reason you use this is because of this 40. And for me, I've been running AP, and I've been doing a lot of damage, trying to aim for ammunition and making things go pop. So you should be able to outrange a lot of stuff with this 40 as well. I like the pickup. The next one, and also the last one, is the most ingenious. So this is the Type 4 Model 4. How cool is that? this thing has 2 engines strapped on the back of it, which look like aircraft engines, and that is your main power source. It does have 2 small engines here as well, and also fuel tanks. I believe these engines, at least from what I've been, from what I've been testing, they seem to do with the reverse stuff and things like that. And then, of course, you have the bridge area here. You got a little pump and some ammunition, because this has access to a 20mm on the back and a 37mm on the front. So this machine is just odd and wonderful at the same time. It's not going to be that powerful. It's not going to be something that, takes over the game, but it's just really nice to look at. And it's one of those odd, weird, premiums that you have at the bottom. It kind of reminds me how, in Ground Realistic or Ground Arcade, we have the, like the land ships at the bottom tiers, like the Independence. This, to me, is the similar idea. So it's not that good. Its guns are serviceable, but not great. It's gonna fall apart when it gets shot. But the general idea behind it is interesting. And the fact that you get these really nice, little engines on it. And if you want to see them in action, I'll show them here for you, just so you can get a taste of what this machine is able to do. So you can see that they spin like this. If you go backwards, they don't really change, which is why I think that's actually, connected to the engines at the bottom. If you go forward, though, they whiz up and off you go. It's actually got crazy good acceleration for a machine like this. And of course, as we talked about, the 37mm on the front, which is always nice to see. But yeah, it's it's just different, isn't it? And at every level of War Thunder, you want to experience different things, and that's basically what we're experiencing here. We're experiencing a machine which has access to a system which is not really available on any other machine. But I'm sure as we go along, moving into like the hovercraft idea, I don't see why we wouldn't, I don't see why we wouldn't go a little bit crazy and a little bit fun, because this kind of, it's getting to that area, but it's obviously not there yet. So I'm very much looking forward to more machines like this, because it's fast, it's fun. Its guns aren't the best, but it's going to be one of those machines that you remember playing because of the fact that it's a bit quirky, kind of like the MBR2 or something like that. So anyway, those are the new ships that are coming to the game, or new boats that are coming to the game when it comes to the premiums on the 2nd of Day 1.91 dev server. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, John Ryman, Joseph Anders, Martinez, Mopar 1969, Moxie, Super Cacti, Uyans Terry, and Elove Goats, and of course Seductive Trash Can for supporting the channel.